Good morning and welcome to Coffee and Cookies. My name is Lindsay and today is Thankful Thursday. And I have some things to be thankful for today. How about you? One of those things is that I get the privilege of being in the room with Nick Gartside. Do you want to say hi? No, that's a first.
Good morning, ladies and gents. Welcome to Coffee and Cookies Morning Show. Yeah, I feel honored by your words. Thank you for those very kind words. I
You're so
appreciate
welcome.
that. I appreciate that. Yeah, you kind of took me off balance right there. So let's you know, it
For
is
the first time you weren't laughing when I intro.
there we go. There we go. So welcome. We have some things we got to talk about today. We got some wins. We got some good wins. And I think we're going to start with Lindsay's wins today. So let's do a little split screen action movement right here. So these wins are going to come with a bit of knowledge.
Oh, I didn't know that. I don't know what knowledge I'm dropping for y'all.
Well, Lindsay's knowledge is going to put some dollars back in your pocket. Nick's knowledge is going to help you grow the dollars in your pocket.
Takes a team. Takes a team.
There you go.
Who's on your team?
Who's on your team? Right. So let's talk about Lindsay's win.
Yes.
Lindsay, what is your family win of today? What happened yesterday?
So this is a little backstory. A few weeks ago in December, my son was actually with your wife. Not that that matters, but she was watching him for me while I was working, and they were at the playground playing. He jumped, fell, didn't think it was a big deal. He got up and he had a gash on his forehead. Had to take him to the hospital. Your wife,
I wish we had pictures of it.
Amazing. I do.
No, I wish we had pictures to put into the show. Like, we should have known that we were going to talk about this. So we should have had pictures ready. So no, please do not put pictures up because some people will not be able to handle the amount of blood.
I mean, it went down to the bone on his forehead. So it was a double gash. So the top layer and then the inner layer had a small cut in it as well. Anyway, big, long process. Got him stitched up. He's great. We actually, this morning, I was just doing his hair and I rubbed my finger across his scar and I was like, that feels weird. And there's a little string sticking out. So I got the tweezers and I pulled out like an inch long piece of stitches of string from the stitches. So anyway, fun fact, stitches don't actually dissolve all the way like they're supposed to. But we got two bills. So we took him to one of the hospitals nearby at the emergency room. And I did not know that you actually get two bills when you visit the hospital. You get one from the facility and then you get one from the doctor. So that was kind of like, whoa.
And the reason for that is normally the doctors are some type of 1099 contractor to the facility.
I didn't know
that. Whereas a lot of the nurses are W-2 for that hospital. A lot of the doctors are 1099. They're not actually assigned there.
Interesting. See? Learned something new.
There you go.
Learn something new. So on the facility bill, when they were intaking us, we do cash pay because we've had insurance. Insurance is crazy, ridiculous expensive if you go out on your own. So we use, the Christian share pay or whatever. So you do self-pay or cash pay. And they were collecting all that information from us during intake when we were getting processed out. And on the bills, it says self-pay, right? So one of the bills, the facility bill, actually had a big percentage taken off on the bill.
Right out the gate. Right out the gate. So Lindsay's telling me this, right? I'm like, you need to call.
Right.
You need to call. And Lindsay's like, no, it already says self-pay on it.
Yeah. They both said self-pay.
They both say self-pay. So keep going.
So I called on both, and the facility bill that already had that discount shown on the dollar value. They're like, yeah, we already gave you the discount. It was this percentage. It's showing here. This is what you have to pay. I'm like, okay, double checking. That's fine. It wasn't as much as the original amount. I'm grateful for that, right? So we paid that. And I have been having a hard time remembering to call the other facility.
Selective thoughts.
By the time I remember it, their office is closed. I'm like, dang it.
Thank you for not doing personal things during work hours. No, I'm just kidding.
That is. I don't like doing that. I feel like it doesn't sit well with me. So I don't like to do that. And I'm always with Nick. So I don't, it was just, anyway, he was out of the office yesterday. It was kind of nice. Got
So
the
it was
entire
quiet.
office. It was quiet.
I'm going to start going downstairs.
So I called them because it was sitting here. I got my husband. He's amazing. He sends me reminders. He's like, in the morning, he's like, don't forget to call the bill. Don't forget to call on that bill. Don't forget to call on that bill. And then at night, he's like, hey, babe, did you call on that bill? I'm like, oh.
That feeling of,
like, oh.
I knew I should have done it, but I
forgot
didn't do
something.
it.
So anyway, yesterday I got to call on the bill, and they answered and was talking to this fantastic, sweet little person. Is this itemized receipt of everything? Is this just, I don't want to get double billed for anything because it looks like the same thing on the other bill. And she's explaining all of this to me. And I was like, so this says cash pay on it. Is there any kind of discounts that are taken out for cash pay? And she goes, oh, so glad you asked. Because she can't.
They can't offer it.
The discount unless you ask for it.
You have to ask for it.
You have to ask for it.
Have to.
Always call. Always ask if there's a discount because it dropped my bill 75%. That was a huge win. So instead of paying $1,000 for the doctor, I paid less than $300. Amazing.
So, I mean, and that's it though, right? That's why, even though it says cash pay on the bill,
Yes.
you need to call.
You need to call.
You absolutely have to, because you have to remember that the medical system is designed around insurance. The billing programs, the billing tools are all designed around insurance. So when you go in as cash pay, they're not used to that. They're not built for that, right? One. Two, just like with your auto insurance or your homeowner's insurance, if you don't ask for the discount, sometimes...
And that's not just with insurances or medical. They're all over. Discounts are all over.
They are.
All over. And they're not just going to be like, oh, hey, here's your discount and here's this. You have to ask for it. My mom is great at asking for discounts all the time. All the time.
So I think it's one of those things where, people are so used to seeing, like a Walmart discount or a Target discount or a more of a product discount. They automatically assume that with a service, there's not a discount, or they would have already told me if there was a discount that they were
Right.
able to apply.
Yes.
And that's not how the world operates.
So, I remember, and I've learned that skill from my mom, which I'm thankful for. My husband is thankful for it now. He didn't like it when I first started dating him because I'd always ask. But we went and rented a car, and there's discounts when you rent a car. You have to ask for them, though.
Right.
You just have to ask.
And you don't always have to hey, do you have this discount? No, hey, are there any discounts you're able to apply to this?
Right.
Just ask for, are there any discounts?
Blanket, is
Yeah,
there
blanket
anything
statement.
that we can
Yes,
talk
there
about?
is.
I used to be a teacher. A lot of places would give teacher discounts, but you had to ask for it. You had to show your ID or whatever the case may be.
Sure.
I can't go use that now because I don't have a valid ID as a teacher. Believe me, I might have tried once or twice.
So, but that's where asking comes into play.
Yes.
That's where getting off your phone putting your phone down, you're checking out, you're making a purchase, putting your phone down, looking at the person going, hey, are there any discounts that we can apply to this?
Yes.
I mean, even with your groceries, all the discounts are automated now. They're online. So sometimes it's not so much that you need to scan a coupon. It's, oh yeah, we're having a X sale today on this or X sale on that today.
Right.
You know, you go buy a car, believe it or not, there's discounts. Dealerships have discounts they can give you, right? You have a contractor that comes in. Ask. No one's going to get their feelings hurt by you asking.
Right.
But you have to be confident in yourself to just ask.
Yes.
Right?
You have to have the confidence to ask the question and not be like, oh, well, I was just wondering if you had any discounts.
No.
No, ask for the discount.
Ask for the discount. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. We get people who ask us for discounts all the time, and I tell them no.
You do not.
I do not. I'm like, I'm so glad you asked. Here's what we can do for you, right? No, it's not a negative thing. Right now, with the current economy, okay, people are having to watch their money a little bit closer right now.
Right.
So there's nothing wrong with asking.
And yes, the worst thing they can say is no.
And
you pay the full price that you were going to pay in the first place.
there you go, right? Oh, the answer is no. Hey, thank you. Thank you for letting me know. I mean, and understand, that's the other side of it, though, right? If you go ask for the discount and you get told no, don't turn into a little whatever word went through your head when I gave that pause. Okay, don't turn into that person. Say, hey, thank you. Be positive about it. Bring a positive experience to that person as well, and move on. Right? Don't go negative if you get told no.
Did you know that, not that I eat there a lot, but McDonald's has to give you a refill on your French fries if you ask for it?
What?
I didn't know this.
What?
Does that go for Chick-fil-A too?
Brad dropping knowledge.
Yes.
Brad dropping
Brad.
some fast food knowledge here. We should have a fast food episode.
I wonder, even like Torchy's, I love Torchy's. They give you a refill on your chips if you have extra salsa or queso left over.
I think that's one of the perks of going to a Mexican restaurant is the
Free
chips and
chips.
queso, right? Here we go. So there's a don't get mad.
She gets mad if you don't ask. That's right. Always ask for the discount.
There you go, right? So we had just got done working on the house that we're rehabbing right now. And there's been a Gloria's over here off of Preston, and the sign's been there for a while.
It has.
So I've been like, oh, they have to be open
And the
by now.
restaurants next to it kind of went up at the same time, and they're open.
They're open. Yeah, the pizza place is open. Some of the other ones are open. So we drove down there, and I'm like, oh man, Gloria's, the beans, the salsa, the chips. I can't eat any of it
right now.
right now because I'm doing SoulCon, right? So the chips and so they Gloria's was not open. Growly.
To the sadness of your wife.
To Amber.
Because that's her favorite
That
restaurant.
is her favorite restaurant. So we went to Ernesto's and we ordered the fajitas, and Amber's like eating the chips and the chicken and, just enjoying it. I'm like, I'm eating the onions and the peppers that, come on the bottom of the fajitas and the chicken. Oh, man. Chips.
Where was that going? Where's this conversation going?
Here we go, right? Unlimited chips. That's why Mexican food restaurants are so delicious. And Amber got to eat all of them, and I got to watch her eat the chips.
I love the Cantina chips that are just the thin and crispy ones. Like, so yummy.
Amber has a thing for like thin chips as well. She likes the thinner ones over the thick chips as well.
I love those.
What restaurants have those?
Mexican ones?
Not all Mexican restaurants have the good chips.
Gary asked if he could do that in the drive-thru. That's greatness.
Round and round and round and round. What do you keep doing?
From the comfort of your car. I love it.
So we were actually talking to a gentleman, and one of the things that they do in his industry is when they do CEUs, you'll go in and you'll sit in your car. They'll bring the food out to you, go to like a Sonic or something, and they'll play the CEU.
Or an Italian restaurant he was talking about.
Yeah, or an Italian restaurant. Right. And they'll do the CEUs, but in this one, this was...
And you listen to it through the radio in your car. Eat your dinner in your car.
Yep.
Get your education credits.
There you go.
That's a
so
win-win.
smart.
Win-win-win.
So smart, especially with COVID and you're not able to do it. So.
Oh, apparently we need to go to Papagayos in Salina.
As long as Sean's lived here, I'm going to take his.
Right?
As long as I'm going to take his word for it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to switch gears real quick because yesterday I had an absolute win.
Wednesday wins. That's
Wednesday
what we had.
wins, right?
Yes.
So I have been doing the online mastermind with Pastor Keith, and I'll be able to put his link into the comments so people can look at this. And it's really good but it's a very much a one-way transaction, right? It's a one-way interaction
When you're doing it online.
when you're doing it online because there's 80, 100 people on there, and Pastor Keith is teaching, right? Just like in church service, it's a one-way conversation.
Yep.
Okay. So for 2022, I was like, I'm going to do the Pastor Keith Mastermind in person. I'm going to get in the room.
Get in the room. You keep preaching that this year.
Man.
Like, that's your message.
That is my message.
Get in the
Get in the
room.
room. Get in the room, right? And wholly getting into the room. So I show up at church. I go, lunch is provided. I sit down at a table. My table gets filled up with these people. I have people who have tutoring companies. I have people who have real estate companies. And then there's these 3 guys on my left side. They flew in from Florida that morning to be at Pastor Keith's Mastermind, and they were flying out that day. That is how important it is for the leader of his team to get his people
In the room.
in the room. Okay.
And there were 3 of them?
There were 3 of them. And of course they got their business cards, and I'm going to talk to them because we're going to talk about some rental properties and investment properties and things of that nature in Florida.
Love this
right?
idea.
Absolutely. So after that, I go and I meet with Pastor David, and I sit down, I get my spot, and I start just introducing myself to people as they're coming in. And all of these people that are coming in are, you could just see the mindset, right? These are people who have a very large growth mindset. You can tell that they're all moving in the same direction. They're at 1 million plus, okay? But they're in the room, and I'm watching and I'm interacting, and there's just so much knowledge going around, just around the table, and people are standing up and they're giving their 2-minute introduction, who they are, what they do. But what's different about it compared to other networking groups that I've been to is there's a personal element to it. There's not just the personal element, there's a spiritual element to it. So I'm sitting there and I'm in a group of this. So this group is about 20 people. A lot of these people go to our church. A lot of these people serve in our church. Some of the people I've seen sitting in church, but I've never introduced myself to them before, right?
Sure.
I've never interacted with them. And it was just this synergy that was created. Now, unfortunately, Pastor Keith had a loss, so he was not there for that one mastermind, okay? Had a family loss.
Yes.
But there was a presentation now, and this presentation is like nothing I've ever seen before, okay? Nothing I've ever seen before. And here we go, right? The presentation was about this individual's business and what they're doing and the direction they're going. But there was so much personal elements to it. There were so many spiritual elements to it, and how it's all intertwined, right? It's not just business. It's the business, it's the spiritual, it's the physical, it's everything there. And this is the synergy that's created and it's deployed. And after the presentation, you go around and everyone gets to ask questions, because out of everyone in that group, there was me and there was one other person that was in the marketing world. Okay. Other people are in the finance world or in the IT world, or there's just so many different industries were there. So we go around and we ask our questions, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 pages of notes. 6 pages of notes, not just from what Pastor David was talking about, not just from Pastor Keith's teachings, which we got a link to because he puts it, he wasn't going to be there. So what did Pastor Keith do? He made a recording, and here it is. Here's what I was going to teach about, right? Very proactive. Love that about that man. So, but I have just all the questions that were asked, and this is not even someone in my own industry, right? This is someone who's in this. Honestly, her perfect prospect is already doing 100 million a year. Like, that's who her perfect prospect is.
Right.
That's who she targets, right? Companies that are already at that scale.
Right.
So we go around and we're all asking questions. And then the second part of that, and I love this, we go around again and we impart our view, our 1% to help this person who gave the presentation succeed. And there's no time limit. So these people are sharing, 2, 3, 5 minutes of, here's what I recommend. Here's and here we go. I love this. It wasn't, here's what you need to do. Here's what you need to do. It was, here's what you need to do. And here's why. Here's what you need to do. And here's why.
That mindset is already established.
So well said. So well said. I'm not just telling you to do it. I'm explaining the why so you can understand and implement it. So we go around the room. And it gets to me, and I give my checklist of here's what you need to do, and here's why you need to do it, right? And there was this piece of I'm in this room of 20 people, very highly successful people, and I'm the only one with the knowledge that I have. Pastor Keith talks about identifying your 1%. Developing your 1%, and then deploying your 1%.
Right.
And I'm in this room with very successful individuals.
Yes.
And I'm still sitting there going, oh my goodness, they have no idea that they still are missing out on X because they don't know to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So hear me on this, right? Because I knew how to think that way, because I'm a marketer, okay? I was able to.
You've been developing your 1%.
Because I've been developing it for 13 years. I was able to deploy that into the group. But then I was also able to receive all this other knowledge, 6 pages of knowledge, because I was in the room. You need to get in the room. Okay, if you're sitting there, and you're like, man, I just feel really stuck right now in my business, you need to get in the room and you need to join a Pastor Keith mastermind. Okay, you don't know what you don't know. Right. And I was not taught this, right? When I was growing up and when I started my business and I was going through this, it was, oh, I got it. No, I didn't know what I didn't know. And now I'm in the room, and now I'm really realizing
I got a lot to learn.
I have so much to learn. And here we go, right? Nick, you've been doing this for 13 years. I've been a marketer for 13 years. I know marketing. Right. Okay? I have my master's degree. And yet I get in this room, and I'm still like, whoa, so much more to learn. It was humbling and exciting all at the same time.
That's exciting.
Because when you realize that you bring that much value to the group, because when I talk, I look around. I'm great about making eye contact when I'm speaking, right? And I'm watching other people write down the notes of what I'm saying. Not just the person I'm talking to, not just the company I'm helping, but people around writing down, oh, Nick said that. Oh, Nick said that. That tells you that that's when you're deploying your 1%. When people are listening to you and actively engaging with you. And after it all got done, I had a guy that comes up to me. Here we go. Ready? Are you ready for this? I'm not going to drop his name, but I'm going to tell you what he makes easily $2 million a month. Easily. $2 million
a month.
He makes an easy $2 million a month.
Easy.
And he said, Nick, I don't know what you said. I just know I need your services. Because what you said sounded like gibberish to me. And I know for me to go to my next level, I need someone like you. There you go. Right? And I'm like, okay. Absolutely.
Right.
And there we go, right? So when you have people that are at that financial status, right? And they're saying, hey, I need your services. When you have people at that financial status saying, hey, you're in the room, you're part of the group. Okay, I don't make $2 million a month, but I was in the room, therefore I'm part of the group now.
Well, there's another guy that you were sitting next to, right?
There's another guy. Oh man. Yes, and I'm not going to share his name. If you go to Elevate Life, you've heard Pastor Keith talk about him, okay? He's a young individual.
He goes to he's in college right now.
Kid is in college right now.
And he's in
This kid
Pastor Keith's in-person mastermind.
No, he's not just in that mastermind.
Oh.
He also goes to the big mastermind, which cost 5 figures to get into. Okay? And
Wow.
he's rubbing shoulders and learning from people that are at that tier, and he's 21. He is 21. He understands about rental properties and the value of real estate. He understands how to start his own business. He understands he runs a sales team. He's been deploying his faith into his sales team. He gets his sales team involved at Elevate Life. They all watch it online. Okay. And he brings in what he's learning through these masterminds into the sales team. And they are beating every other sales team by 2,000%.
2,000.
2,000%.
That's amazing.
And here, ready for this? He's 21.
Yeah, I was not doing that at 21.
No, I didn't know the room even existed at 21.
Right?
I didn't even know there was.
I was allowed to knock on the door.
Exactly. Right? Like when you look at your upbringing, when you look at where you came from, you didn't even know that this was here. If you're hearing this for the first time, you didn't know. And I'm telling you, get in the room.
Yep.
And if you're like, Nick, I don't. So I'll tell you now, the one that I'm at is $500 a month. That's how much that mastermind is. Okay. You're like, Nick, I don't have that. Great. Do the online one.
That's
get in on
$100 a month.
I don't know the pricing off the top of my head. I'm sure it's on his website, but you need to open your ears. You need to open your mind.
Yep.
You need, and if you're like, yep, get in there, open your ears, open your mind,
right.
And you'll work yourself to where you get in the room. Now, here we go, right? I was not able to do this last year because I had a job.
A different job.
I had a W-2 job. I had a W-2 job. I was not able to get out and into the room because my job would not allow me to. Okay? I'm able to do it this year, be in the room, because I'm back at Social Media Torch. Because I'm with our company.
Right.
Okay? I'm able to work 6-hour work days because I'm no longer W-2. I'm back in the entrepreneur world. Okay? I'm able to spend more time with my family and be a better father to my kids because of this change. Okay? Now, I'm not saying the entrepreneur world is for everyone. I'm not saying that, right? And I'm not saying that there are some jobs where you're W-2 and they value families as much as they value work. But a lot of the people that were in there, if they were W-2, they had that work-life balance because they had a great employer. Okay? But for the other ones, they were in the same position that
they were making their own schedules.
The person that was presenting, she was used to working 12-hour days and weekends. She didn't even have time to go to church.
That reminds me of teaching. Don't talk about that.
Okay? So here we go, right? I'm not saying you need to quit your job. I'm saying you need to get work-life balance. I'm not telling you to quit your job. I'm saying you need to figure out where you need to go to start getting leadership in you. Okay? Where can you start to develop you? Okay?
Yeah.
Now, if you're sitting here going, you want to know what, Nick, the only way I'm going to get this is to leave my job? Great. I'm not saying quit. I'm saying create an exit strategy. No, because here we go, right? The other marketer individual, right? He works for a very prominent company that's here in Dallas, and he's wanting to walk away.
Oh.
So one of the things that he was talking about was his exit strategy. How do I get people in place to replace me so I can walk away and leave this company in a good position?
A
right?
win-win.
It's a win-win situation. Okay? So and maybe you're listening to me and you're like, you want to know what, Nick? I don't have that work-life balance right now. Great. You want to know how you get it? You make a plan. You don't have to have it right now, but when you get home, sit down with your spouse and make a plan. Here's my 6-month rollout. Here's my 1-year rollout. Here's my 90-day rollout, right?
The other thing is, so when I was teaching, when I first got into teaching, I worked pretty much all the time. I would take like an hour, I would have 30 minutes for lunch, and I'd take like an hour for dinner, and then I'd be working. You need to set your boundaries. And you need to, like, if you're working more than you should be, if you don't have that balance, start with setting a boundary of, this is when I'm turning off work and I'm not going to open it back up.
That's good.
And then like work that into your exit strategy. Because
that's really good.
Because
but set that expectation.
Yes.
Set that expectation with your supervisor, manager, or boss, so that way they don't just get their feelings hurt.
Right. Well, my job, it wasn't like.
Yes, as a teacher,
yes.
Yeah, absolutely,
like grading
absolutely.
papers, blah blah blah.
Sure. But as a W-2 employee,
yes.
If you're like, I'm not. Hey, just let you know, boss person, after 5 o'clock, I'm not answering my phone unless I might not even get to it even if it is a 911, because that's my family time and I put my phone in a drawer.
Right.
Like, set that expectation.
Right. Yes. And something I found when I set my boundary as a teacher was I got done what I needed to get done in the time that I allowed for it.
Ooh, that's good.
If you allow that extra time, you're like, oh, I can do that later, or I can work on that at home, or I can do that, blah, blah, blah. It's gonna bleed into your home life. It's gonna bleed into your family life because you're allowing it. So you have to have that boundary within yourself and stick to it, and you will actually become more productive in your work hours than if you would be like, oh, I can take my computer home, or I can, my computer is always home because I work from home.
There you go. Here's what I work from home. My life is here.
Yes. So make your boundaries, stick to them.
That's good.
And create your exit strategy.
See, I love it. I love these conversations. I love you guys being in the comments. We got lots of comments today. That makes me happy. That makes me happy.
And Amber made a good point, because we are realizing that there is a room that we need to be in. Our kids are going to have that mindset. So what legacy are you changing by being in the room for the rest of, like, because your kids are going to know, and your grandkids are going to know, and your great grandkids, because you're changing that mindset in your families.
That's great. Whew. Like it. All right. We're going to go ahead and hop off the show because we got things today. So, hey, listen up. Did you get your big 3? Did you write it down at the beginning of the week? I did. Did you?
I had more than 3.
You had more than 3. Okay. So look at your big 3. It's Thursday.
It is.
Okay. Tomorrow's going to be another cold day. Ugh. So just be ready for it.
I have my heating blanket on standby.
So check where you're at. Okay. And make sure that you get done with your big 3. Now, if you get done with your big 3, I want to know what is your reward? Okay. Mm-hmm. What is your reward for getting your big 3? And maybe it's something delicious. Maybe it's something like chocolate. So some people are doing it fast and they've given up sweets. I gave up sweets.
So this is a great question. I have a treat here for myself, but it's So we had a conversation, my husband and I, last night as I was packing my son's lunch, and I gave him graham crackers with some chocolate pieces and some marshmallows to like
make
s'more mix.
S'more. Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Sounds amazing, right? And I'm like, oh man. And I was like, I am just really craving just fool me with something sweet. Okay. I haven't had anything sweet, except my coffee creamer.
So if you're sweet and you're angry, is it swangy? Instead of hangry, it's swangy.
I'm swangy.
Oh my gosh.
All the time. So I was like, honey, can I have graham crackers? He's like, well, that definitely has sugar in it. And I'm like, but it's a cracker.
Oh man.
So I brought me a couple of crackers today. I'm excited.
That's greatness. All right, so let's get back on track here.
Sorry.
Let's get back on track.
Side tangent.
Make sure that you got your big 3 done. it's Thursday. Let's just crank it today. I challenge you.
Yes.
Say thank you to someone that is probably not expecting a thank you. Someone has blessed you. I guarantee it. Someone has blessed you. And at some point in time, you just got so busy, you forgot to thank them for it. And it could have been 3-5 years ago. But call them and say thank you today. Okay? So with that, thank you guys for being in the comments. Thank you guys for liking the videos. That's how we know to pray for you. Yep. Okay, that's how we know to pray positive over you. And today, make sure that you
rise up,
crush it.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.